Hello and welcome to Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream on the Just Baseball Network. Remember, this is a competition for all the new people entering. It is me versus all of the great MLB cappers, the best that I could find in order to give you the best picks possible. But the reason it's a competition is if I win, a subscriber of this Twitch channel will get tickets to the World Series of this season. If I finish second, the winner or the subscriber of this Twitch channel will get a $500 cash prize. And if one of the cappers wins, they get it. So root for me. But whoever ends the season with the most amount of units will end up winning the competition. This is a really fun environment. And again, all lines will be played on BetMGM. Use code JBFans. If you haven't downloaded BetMGM yet, you got it. It's an absolute no-brainer to get the free money that they're giving to you. Use code JBFans. You wager $10 on any money line on BetMGM on an MLB game. It's MLB specific. No throwing it on Lakers or Timberwolves or Rangers or whoever in NHL or NBA. This is an MLB specific promo. Perfect for us. Wager $10 on any MLB game. And you win up to $100. Not win, excuse me. You get $100 in bonus bets. I have two MLB best bets for you today. No prize picks entry. I've been serving you cake, and I don't want to serve you cake. I want to serve you winners. And we've been on fire in the MLB game picks arena. 6 of our last 7 have cashed. But let's do a quick recap of Friday's stream, because remember, just tracking plays from the stream for you to tail. That's the point. Congrats to me if I gave you a pick at 1 p.m., but this is 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern every single day, every Monday through Friday on Twitch, all right? Thank you guys for coming. Make sure to hit that follow button so you always get alerted when we stream. But again, Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Producer Cohen, let's do a quick recap of how we did because we banged. We banged! How about the Mets team total? Over 4.5. Plus 100, not really a sweat, but kinda, right? It was 4-0 if we remember for a while. Then the Mets finally scored in the top of the 9th. That's why I love taking team totals when the team is on the road, because they're guaranteed 9 innings of at-bats. Like if the Mets are winning and it went to the 9th, they may not get a chance to hit that over team total because they would have been winning already, not on the road. So they ended up scoring 7 runs, easily clearing the over 4.5. How about the Astros team total over 4.5 at plus 105? That was a little bit more sweaty. It was bad early. The Astros only had 1 or 2 runs. Then they started to trickle in because the Astros have been red hot. 2+ money plays, 2 bangs, and now I'm up 7.47 units on this stream. But I'm only in 3rd place out of about 15 cappers that we have coming on. I assume we have the leaderboard right now, Producer Cohen, that we can show the people how everybody's doing. And we're going to have a lot of plays from a lot of people on the leaderboard. As you can tell, Tomas is in the league. He will be on. We have Matt. We have DeGen. We have Krabs. We have plenty of really good cappers coming on to give us picks today. But let's do a quick recap of the prize picks entry because that did not bang. Did not bang, Producer Cohen. It did not bang. And thanks a lot, Willie Adamas. I mean, to be fair, double in the first inning, then 2 lineouts over 100 miles an hour, but they were caught. Finished with a 5 fantasy score. Luis Robert, though, under 8 fantasy, went 0 for 6. Put up this many. He put up as many fantasy points in that game as you and I did against the Tampa Bay Rays. So we went 1-on-1, but on prize picks, that's an L. We move. The game picks were great, and we're going to continue to roll. Again, I have 2 game picks today. We're going to go over our Ballpark Pal model to show you some value on some games that I'm not on. I'll show you why, even though the model is showing value, why necessarily I wasn't on these games, but maybe some leans for you to do your own research. Because again, we have plenty of time before the games begin. It can be like, oh, the model's showing value on the under. This is why I don't like it, but maybe you like it. Our only goal is to give you winners, to fill up everybody's bank accounts, but it's not gambling advice, but we know that. But let's move on. Let's get into our first pick of the day, Con. Can we start with the under I want to start with this under because it's easily my favorite play of the game, especially with some lineup changes in our next pick, which we will talk about. And that's only a half unit play, but this is easily my favorite game on the board today. And just on stream, I'm up 7.47 units about, Producer Cohen, right? I'm up about 7.47 units. Overall, I'm up 8.28 units, 39 and 28 record on straight plays. And this is my favorite of the day. The pitching matchup is Nathan Eovaldi versus Nick Lodolo. And as a Reds truther, like I love the Reds coming into this year. They almost made my preseason win totals where I'm on the Guardians, I'm on the Diamondbacks, and I'm on the Mariners. Reds were going to be in there because I do love this roster, but they have a very big issue. They have a very big issue, and that's against right-handed pitching. If you follow my picks, you know we easily cashed the under in the Reds versus Pirates game. Why? Because Vince Velasquez threw 7 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts. This Reds offense against right-handed pitching is not ideal. And they're going to go up against Nathan Eovaldi, who is a better pitcher than Vince Velasquez. But before we get into Nate Eovaldi, I want to read you some stuff about this Reds offense. There are 5 teams in Major League Baseball with a team WRC plus against righties below 80. Oh, we're getting rated. What's up, Booker with Trent Crew? Good to see you. I'm going over. You're right in perfect time. Perfect timing because I'm going over my plays. We're going to go over the models plays, and then we're going to welcome on Krabs, DeGen, Tomas, who's up like 1 billion units. We have so many great plays for you today on this MLB Monday. It's April 24th. Let's have a day. I'm getting right into my first pick, my favorite play of the day. So stay tuned for this great show, which we do every day, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Shout out Trent, you're the GOAT. And shout out his chat. You're also awesome. But don't call my producer an L because he's not an L. And you do that sometimes. All right. There's 5 teams in Major League Baseball with a WRC plus against righties below 80. And a WRC plus is wins, runs created plus. It's based on league averages, right? And it's adjusted for different park factors. So, for example, if you have a high OPS at Coors Field, congratulations. WRC plus is going to knock you for that. If you're a great hitter in, let's say, T-Mobile, which is a big pitcher's park, it'll help you, right? So it's park adjusted and you're compared to average. And there's 5 teams who are below 80. And 80 is already 20% below league average. Those teams are the Reds, the Rockies, the Tigers, the Nationals, and the Royals. Not teams that you want to take. The Reds 77 WRC plus ranks 25th in baseball over the entire season. And in the last 2 weeks, it's bad. 62 WRC plus. So in the last 2 weeks, this Reds offense is 38% below league average against right-handed pitching. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. And they're going to face off against Nate Eovaldi, who's due for some positive regression, right? Sitting with a 5.40 ERA, which is not ideal, but ERA is for losers. ERA is for casuals. Just kidding. It's obviously important. But what we should be looking at is different kinds of stats, right? Expected ERA, fielding independent pitching, where Nate Eovaldi excels in. 3.81 xERA, 2.36 xFIP. And something I'm looking at is K minus BB, which is you want to strike out a lot of people and you don't want to walk anyone. That's the goal of any pitcher, right? That's what factors into your FIP and your xERA. That's what the pitcher can control. And a 3.81 xERA, 2.36 FIP, and he has the highest K minus BB percentage of his career if you exclude the shortened 2020 season, which we don't have enough data from that. Doesn't really matter. But Nathan Eovaldi, his fastball is living in the mid to upper 90s. His splitter, 41.2% whiff rate. That means hitters are swinging and missing at a 41.2% rate. It's elite. He's throwing his cutter harder than he ever did. And his curveball is also getting plenty of whiffs. 232 xWOBA against that pitch. So the quality of contact against his offerings is not very good, and he's going up against a Reds offense that is cheeks against right-handed pitching. And his 105 pitching plus has him in the top 20 of all starting pitchers. So the peripherals on Eovaldi look great. This seems like a great bounce-back spot for him. But you're wondering, Peter, well, then why aren't you taking the Rangers, right? You just said all that great stuff about Texas and the Reds can't hit righties. I'll tell you why. It's Nick Lodolo day. One of the best young pitchers in baseball. And today, he has a really nice matchup against the Rangers, who are coming off an 18-run performance. We love fading teams off a day like this, especially when their worst split is against lefties. And a split is, are you betting against lefties? Or are you betting against righties? The Texas Rangers are the second best offense in Major League Baseball against righties this year by WRC+. Against lefties, they're 20th. It's a big drop-off. And Lodolo Lodolo was cruising this season before he imploded against the Rays for 8 earned runs. But the Rays are baseball's best team against lefties. His 3.55 xERA implies positive regression, right? ERA 4.98, xERA much lower, and he's historically been better at home in Great American Ballpark. Last season, 2.85 ERA in Great American Ballpark versus a 5.11 ERA on the road. So you're wondering also, Peter, why not the first 5? I think the first 5 is a great bet. My only thing is, I'm a little bit more confident that it stays under 8.5 through the full game rather than 4.5 through the first 5 because both bullpens are readily available, right? Rangers coming off that big win. They didn't use anybody good. Reds, they lost yesterday 2-0. They used River San Martin. They used Fernando Cruz. They have other good guys in that pen. I think this stays under 8.5. I got it at -105. It's about moved to -115. 8.5 still playable, still like it. I would even play it at 8 because I don't think this game goes over 8 runs. I think the final score will be around 4-2, 3-2. It should be a very low scoring game considering it's supposed to be about 48 to 49 degrees by game time in Cincinnati in a historic hitter's park. Hitting conditions aren't playing to their factor today. Give me the under 8.5 as my favorite bet of the day. But we got to talk about my second play of the day. Because my second play of the day, I don't know if it's going to hit. And remember, I'm always perfectly honest with you guys. You know, what we try and do here is win more bets than we lose. And I am on the wrong side of this line movement. Now, very similar thing happened. It's a couple weeks ago, we bet on the Pirates money line. Everybody hated it. And another reason people hated it, and we saw a line move, Brian Reynolds removed from the lineup. Let's talk about the Houston Astros versus the Tampa Bay Rays. It's Jose Urquidy versus Taj Bradley. I'm going to level with you. I don't love the matchup for the Astros. But what I will say is, I would feel like such an idiot because it's against every bone in my body not to take a team like the Astros at plus money against a rookie pitcher who has 2 starts in his career, one where he gave up 3 earned in 5 innings against the Red Sox, who are not that great. And then he shoved through 5 shutout innings against the Reds, who we just said can't hit righties to save their lives. The Rays are 13-0 at home, and they're priced like it, right? They're playing like the best team in baseball. At home, they're outscoring opponents 90-30. Give me a break. Give me a break. Because Jose Urquidy is about to give us a masterclass today. His fastball is living in the mid-90s, and his 3 breaking balls have an xWOBA against under 270. So the quality of contact has been very good for Urquidy. That's why he's in the 95th percentile of average exit velocity. Very elite. But he's going to be facing the Rays, the best team in baseball against righties. They're the best team ever, right? They're going to win every game, right? We'll see. But the reason I'm nervous, if you go on your BetMGM account, if you go on any of your sportsbooks account, you'll see that the Astros are right around plus 155 or around there, the Astros plus 150, whatever. I got them at plus 125 this morning. I put a half unit on it. No Yordan Alvarez in the lineup. It's not ideal. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not ideal. You want the best hitter in baseball in the lineup. You do, right? If you want to win ball games, why did the Astros do that? They're playing the Rays. The Rays have 3 losses this year. 2 are in series openers. Urquidy even has solid numbers against the Rays in his career. Urquidy looks better. He's not throwing that stupid fastball anymore. He's throwing his breaking balls way much, relying on the sweeper. And he's pitching the best of his career. Why did they frickin' not play Yordan, Producer Cohen? Why did they do it? It's stupid, right? Whatever. They're still going to win the game. Now, I only have a half unit on it. But I believed when this opened, because the line opened at plus 105. And it got steamed up because a lot of people hammered the Rays. And a lot of smart people I know are hammering the Rays. And Krabs is going to come on and he's going to pitch you the Rays. And they'll probably win. But no way the Astros win without Jordan, right? Against the Rays, who are 13-0 at home, and Taj Bradley has been amazing, and Jose Urquidy is like 5'7", 250 pounds. No way, right? I got him at plus 125. Half unit, sprinkle. The value is there. The Astros, 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays, look great in that series. Remember, they got blown out in Sunday Night Baseball, and then they destroyed the Braves in Atlanta. They won by a combined score in those two series of 36-17. I think the Astros are playing really good baseball right now. They're the defending champs, and I don't see it often that we're going to get a price on the Astros at plus whatever it is right now. Now, it's not the best pitch in the world, right? But what I will say is that the Rays will be without their closer and Pete Fairbanks, who's thrown the past couple of days. And it's the Astros at plus money. I had to bet it. I saw some value there. Considering the opener plus 105, I thought it was an overreaction by the market, considering everyone came in on the Rays, and everyone's still on the Rays. You look at every betting split, everyone and their mother is on the Rays. Do you want to ask yourself, do you want to take the dive with me? Do you want to take the dive with me? Line movement, terrible. Let me see in the chat. I want to go to the chat. Def taking a shot with the Stros. No way I'm laying minus 150 with a rookie on the mound versus defending world champs. Come on. It might not hit. But is it worthy of a sprinkle? I think so. Especially because you're getting way better value than me. Winning degenerate is taking the Rays. A lot of people are taking the Rays. It's probably a smart bet. You're on the side of the line movement, which you generally want to be on. Screw that. Give me the Stros at plus 125. Now it's plus 155. Don't care. Half unit. Come on. Now, of course, Rangers Reds is my favorite play of the day. No doubt about it. Rangers Reds is my favorite play of the day. But don't sleep on the Stros. That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep on the Stros. All right, let's go to the Ballpark Pal model. Remember, this model, it simulates every game 1,000 times. Includes park factors and a matchup machine, which is based on every player, simulates the game tons of times, and it shows us value on either side. So we're going to bring up, I think, what do we have? 4 games, Producer Cohen? We have 4 games that we're going to go over. It shows value on all of them. And I'm going to show you why I think it's a good play, but I was leaning there. Now I'm not. All that kind of good stuff. Just to give you some ammo to when you go to the BetMGM Sportsbook, you have an idea of what you think you should play, right? That's all this is here to do. This is not the end-all be-all. All it does is show value based on math. If you're a nerd, you're going to love it. If you hate math, you're going to hate it. All right, stay tuned. Let's get to the first game. This game is fascinating, isn't it? Spencer Strider and the Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. The Braves are obviously coming off a really tough series against the Houston Astros. They get to sleep in their own beds, and they face Edward Cabrera, who, if he throws strikes, is nasty. If he doesn't, he gets bombed. As you can see, Model still thinks the Braves are huge favorites and should be huge favorites. But why I really wanted to talk about this game, because you and I both know Braves probably win with Spencer Strider at home against the Marlins. But the model likes the over, which I found was really fascinating, because you have a Braves offense that can score runs against anybody, but you have Spencer Strider on the other side. And the Marlins have been really bad against right-handed pitching this year. So I wanted to bring it to your attention because I thought to myself, I thought about playing the under this morning. That's why we go over the model, right? Because just because the model is showing value doesn't mean you necessarily have to play it. But what it can do is steer you away from a bet that you kind of like. Model shows value on the other side, and maybe you think to yourself, all right, maybe I shouldn't play it. And I think that's a good one right here. Because you see Edward Cabrera back-to-back really good starts. Spencer Strider is about as good as anybody can imagine. But it likes the over. Why might it like the over? Does it think the Marlins bullpen is due for a little bit of regression? Do they think the Braves just blow up Edward Cabrera, maybe get the over by themselves? What I will say is the model likes the over at 7.5. As you can see, it thinks the line should be closer to 8.5, not 7.5. So while I was initially thinking about the under, the model talked me off of it, right? So consider the over. I'm not playing it. But again, The model shows value based on 1,000 simulations, based on the weather. Supposed to be pretty good weather today at Truist Park. Consider the over, right? Maybe consider the Braves team total over, so you don't have to lay a billion, points of juice on the money line or -1.5. Like, don't be that guy who goes Braves -1.5 today. Don't be that guy. You never want to take a home team in baseball -1.5 because they don't have 9 innings of pitching. Or 9 innings of hitting, excuse me. Think about it. Braves are winning 4-3. They're winning the entire game. You lose that bet even though the Braves won. So consider the Braves team total over. As you can tell, the model predicts them at 5.35 runs. Let's move to the next game on the model, producer Cohen. We got the Minnesota Twins versus the New York Yankees. This game is fascinating because the Yankees historically own the Twins. And then what did the Twins do? They said, screw that, we're owning you, and destroyed them in that series. Now, they didn't really destroy them. They split the series. But if we remember, 9 runs were scored against Johnny Brito already. But the model thinks the line is pretty solid, right? It thinks the Twins are slightly overvalued, but basically, you have juice on different books. You might get -155, then +135. Thinks it should be -140, +140 across the board. But again, reason I wanted to bring this up is Johnny Brito in his last start got destroyed by the Minnesota Twins. But the model likes the under. Maybe they think that Brito bounces back a little bit in this spot. We saw him have a pretty good outing against the Angels where the changeup was working. Maybe does Brito make that adjustment and Sonny Gray dominates and it ends up going under the total of 7.5. Could be a very sneaky play when you consider that the last time Brito played against the Twins, he gave up 1 billion runs. Now the line is at 7.5 and the model likes the under. Could that be a good play? Reason I'm not on it. I banned the Yankees for my mental health. I'm a Yankee fan. I hate betting on my own team. I don't like to play any bets there. So that's the reason I'm not on it. But I think the under in Yankees Twins is a very sneaky play that I know nobody's on. But maybe you could be the person to cash it. I'm not saying I'm on it. I'm not even saying I lean that direction. But what I am saying is nobody on earth has given you the under in Yankees Twins. Nobody on earth. Let's move to the next game on the slate. The Arizona Diamondbacks are taking on the Kansas City Royals. And they think the line is pretty much solid. But here's why I wanted to bring it to you. Everybody likes this over. How could you not? It's Tommy Henry versus Brad Keller. Tommy Henry, minor leaguer. I think it's more of like, I wish the Diamondbacks brought up Brandon Pfaadt instead of Tommy Henry. For the Arizona Diamondbacks if they want to compete this year because Tommy Henry just doesn't seem that ready. And Brad Keller, his stuff has looked much better than it did in previous years. A lot of people are jumping on the Royals. A lot of people are jumping on the over. They might be on the wrong side today. At least that's what the model thinks. Because the line is at 10, 10.5. You got a lot of sharp movement. It's going up. It's going up, up. Prize Picks has bumped up a lot of these Royals hitters props. Everyone is expecting tons of runs in this game. Model doesn't. Model thinks the line should be closer to 9. It's a tough one. Because I lean the over. Sharp movement would lean the over. Sharps I know that I respect are on the Royals. And the model thinks the Diamondbacks and the under hit. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. This game confused the living hell out of me. But I just want you guys to see where the model is leaning. That it likes the under in this game, and it likes the Diamondbacks to pull it out against the Royals. Thinks the line is pretty much solid. It actually thinks the Royals are a little bit overvalued, even at +125. So if you loved the over, maybe take a harder look. If you were in between on the over or under in this game, maybe this points you towards the under. That's the point of bringing the model to you in order to give you the best picks possible. The model sucks, bro. What it has done is help me win year over year. You can disagree and not play it, but I vehemently disagree that the model is bad. I vehemently disagree. It's math. Baseball is all data. Now, it's not going to be right every day, but what it has done, and people who have been listening to the stream for a while, it's pointed people away from some bets that didn't end up hitting. Now, there have been bets where, it said the Tigers money line. I've tailed Tigers money line at like +150. It hit. It said take the A's against Shohei Ohtani early on in the year. That hit. There have been a lot of times where the model has been very, very good. So you can say it sucks because it doesn't agree with your pick as we sit here today. But you cannot tell me it sucks. It has years of being profitable. I know you might disagree based on your pick today, and we'll see, right? Your pick can still hit. My job is to bring you value. My job is to kind of show you what the model is saying. You can disagree if you want. But let's move on to the fourth game on the model. The St. Louis Cardinals are taking on the San Francisco Giants. And it has the Giants as a slight favorite, which I was shocked by. Absolutely shocked. Giants can't hit a lefty to save their life, and they're going to face Jordan Montgomery today against the Cardinals offense that's been slowly heating up. I don't know if you saw them against the Mariners in that series. Offense is looking much better. This is where I completely disagree with the model. I don't know how. Like, I was thinking about the Cardinals today, and that's what the model is used for. You could love a pick, and if the model's on the opposite side, maybe it's a good time to just say, hey, all right, I won't be on that pick today. And maybe it could burn you. But more often than not, it's going to help you. So if you love the Cardinals today, maybe reconsider. Maybe still play it, right? It still has them winning 45.7% of simulations. It still has the game very, very close, and maybe they do edge it out. But what the model is saying is they show a little bit of value on the Giants. They think Alex Cobb pitches relatively well, especially, Cardinals traveling from Seattle to San Francisco. It's a short flight. It's not that big of a deal. But Giants are at home. They're a home dog. We'll see what happens, right? Just wanted to bring it up because, again, model has a slight lean towards the over, which, again, I disagree with because the Giants can't hit a lefty. Maybe they think that reverses today and the Giants end up getting a win after Sunday Night Baseball. Remember, the Giants don't fall into that Sunday Night Baseball trend. They didn't have to travel at all. They faced the Mets yesterday. They won on Sunday Night Baseball. And now the model likes them today, which is very, very interesting. All right? But we have plenty of cappers. Producer Cohen, we got people in queue. We're going to get cappers on in queue. Remember, this is the portion of the show from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We welcome on cappers to give their plays, and they're going to try and win, and they're going to try and beat me. And I'm only in third place right now out of about 15 MLB cappers. I'm trying to win. And remember, as a subscriber of this Twitch channel, if I win, we'll get my prize, which is World Series tickets or a $500 cash prize. Absolute no-brainer to subscribe, and we appreciate all you guys for listening. Who we got in queue first?
We got Krabs up.
We got Mr. Krabs. I'm sure the Book It Raid will love hearing the Krabs report. And I like that Krabs is on first. Oh, wait, are you muted, by the way?
I don't think so. Can you hear me?
You are not muted at all.
Sure.
I couldn't hear you in my mic for a second, but you're fine.
Just wasn't talking. Yep.
We're on opposite plays. And I just gave the whole spiel of why the Astros in this spot. You rarely get the Astros at plus money. And you saw that and you went the other direction. For me, something that has been profitable is like when teams are this good, it's worth sprinkling a little bit on them because more often than not, they actually hit. But in this spot, Jordan's now out. The Rays got ballooned to what, minus 170, minus 175. You're sitting here with a Rays moneyline ticket at minus 150. Are you feeling good or is it almost too good to be true?
I'm feeling good with the additional 25-cent line move
All
with
right,
one
fine.
player being rolled out. That's ridiculous. Jordan's awesome, but are you kidding me? Feel great with that.
I genuinely think he's worth that to the line. I know it sounds crazy, but he's him.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in
worth that
baseball.
line. Yeah.
Why did we take his under home runs for the season? What were we doing?
All I know is he has 31 left. If he hits 31 home runs, sure.
We got plenty of room.
We got plenty of room. Brantley's going to come back. He's going to play more outfield. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But today, I've been saying this all season, and I know the Astros are coming off a sweep in Atlanta. Very, very impressive. Okay. Yes.
But until this team returns Jose Altuve, I do not fear fading them one bit. Their offense is night and day. When Jose Altuve is in the lineup, I don't know if it's a personal thing. I don't know if it's because he's the heart and soul of the team, the captain, the leader, whatever. But when he's not in the lineup, I'm not scared of fading him. Plain and simple. Over the past couple of years, whenever he's out, this Astros lineup is significantly worse. I know they've been hot recently, but I'll take my chance on the rookie who's minus 175 against a pretty good pitcher in Urquidy and a pretty good team in Houston coming off a sweep in Atlanta.
Fine. I mean, it probably hits, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Well, yeah, it'd be weird if you are. You're on the other side.
Don't you think the Astros might win? Maybe.
No, and look, I understand your thought process. I understand why you like Houston. Getting a team like the Astros at plus 145, that does not happen every day, right? But there's a reason the Astros are plus 145, and it's probably because they're going to lose. And
what if the books are wrong
because
and
I'm taking
right?
the favorite? But look at the past couple seasons, man. When the Dodgers are dogs, when the Mets have been dogs with DeGrom in there, whenever these teams are dogs and they probably shouldn't be or typically aren't, it's for a good reason.
No, but that's the thing is, like, they sometimes win. People follow that and they lose. Like, that's what's been profitable for me. That's the reason I'm on them, because you don't get these teams at this price all that often. But the line movement, like, normally what I was expecting to happen, because the line opened at plus 105, was for me to get plus 125 and then it to come back down. Then Jordan gets announced out. Now the line's all out of whack, and we got Jeremy Pena hitting second, who I like, but, like, I mean, this is just not the Astros that I thought I was betting on. So you're probably going to be right, but I hope you lose. Respectfully.
Okay, I hope you lose as well, and I hope I am right.
Respectfully.
We move.
Respectfully
We move.
between good cappers. But
Sure.
this isn't your only pick. You got
Nope.
multiple. Get into
Yeah,
your
let's
next
go to
one.
Baltimore.
Wow.
Let's go to Camden Yards.
Wow.
All right. Give me the under in this game. I'm curious of your thoughts on this, but Chris Sale, Creamer, coming off of pretty darn good starts, if I could say so myself. Both of them. The starts before that, man, bad. Honestly,
Not even meh. Terrible.
Agreed. Yeah, same page. But these two guys actually faced off against each other in the third game of the season. Score was 9-8. Total was super high. Chat's already heard this bit before, but same matchup tonight. The total is at 8 this time around when it was at 9.5 last time. It's soared over. I'm going to take my chances on one of these two arms to lock in, either Sale or Creamer, and that's all it's going to take for this under to hit. I mean, Peter, the Orioles, they've won 5 games in a row, but they're not doing it with offense. They really haven't been scoring much.
No,
They're doing it with that pitching staff and that bullpen that's red hot once again at the beginning of the season. And I'm willing to put my coins on an under here with a Boston lineup that's overrated and a Baltimore lineup that's winning but not scoring. Okay, so I'm going to take the under here with the total at 8 when it was 9.5 the first time around and there was a million runs.
As a line movement guy, now the over is minus 115. This is just on BetMGM. It could be different other places.
No, you're right, though. You're right.
What do you think about that? Does that, I mean, it's a total moving 10 cents. Like,
it's not ideal. I mean, late line movement has been key. Especially like this season in MLB, late line movement has been freaking huge.
Yeah.
And that's not a ton of movement, and it wasn't super,
not a ton of
close
movement. It's
to
still
first
the
pitch.
same number. It's just a little bit of an adjustment.
I know. Still on it. Still like it. Don't love it.
But here's my thing. There's a difference between line movement and reverse line movement. And if you ask 10 people, this is something I got from DeGen, which I think is so smart. If you ask 10 people, 7 of them are taking the over. So it's like when you get movement based on everybody jumping on it, that's reasonable, especially in baseball without a large handle. So it's much different if the over is getting 30% of the handle and then it's moving.
Yep.
Versus everybody's on the over and then it's moving, right?
Over's public, and I'm assuming there were way more bets coming in on that over today than there were yesterday because 90% of people are betting the day of. So maybe that total just creeped up today because of all the bets, right? I'm with you, Pete. I'm not super scared, but not ideal.
Not ideal. I assume you like the Rays one better, which means that's not hitting, but this under's hitting.
Yes,
and you have one more pick.
block.
You have one more pick. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
Wow.
Kansas City Royals, Arizona Diamondbacks. Love taking overs in Arizona. I know you know that. Shout out the birthday Megalodon.
We're
going back to the over here. And I know the juice did the exact same thing here that you were just talking about where it flipped to the under. Don't love that one bit. But the opener at 10 with the juice to the under, with the way Keller's pitched this season, with how bad the Royals offense is, and how decent Henry's been. I know he hasn't pitched too much, but that total's high. So these pitchers are getting roughed up. At least one of these two guys won't be making it out of the third inning by this total looking at it. We know there's plenty of runs to be scored in Arizona, typically a hitter's ballpark. Huge, right? A lot of gap-to-gap action. Maybe not home runs. But
that's what people don't get. It's like Coors Field, for example. It's not the home runs. It's the enormous outfield where more singles and doubles get in. That's why Chase Field, fences are so far, but it's like the amount of blue pits, the amount of doubles in the gap, the amount of triples that happen in these parks is insane. One thing I will say about this, and this is the bet I'm most scared about from you, the model loves the under and that line movement. But then again, there's also line movement on prize picks for hitters. So this game is, I have no idea what to do in this game. But I'm glad you have a play because you've been great on totals this year and you're up on the air. Cohen, can you flash the leaderboard? Because my guy Krabs is up over 3 units, which is ideal.
Let's go. And until that model can say it to my face, I don't give a hoot what the model's on.
The model can't talk, though.
Sorry, Ben.
The model can't talk, unfortunately.
I know. Ben's model's better, though. I know Ben's model's not on the under in that game. How about that?
Good for Ben's model. All right. No, but cap-wise, I do respect. But
sure,
good for him. One bet I'm surprised you're not on. The grossest bet on the board is this Twins-Yankees under after Johnny Brito gave up 9 earned against the Twins, and now it's at 7.5. What, are you scared?
Not scared. I looked at it. Sonny Gray's been pitching a little too good for me to be taking it under in that game. Is this Sonny Gray the rest of his career now? He's just a top 5 pitcher in baseball? Probably
he does
not.
Look so good, though.
He does look really good, but I'm not. That's too square for me, brother. And Brito's had a nice start in between those, right, where he settled down and pitched well. So, yeah, if it was back-to-back series, right, if he pitched, his last start against them, they'd be a little different. But I'm good. Fair. I'm taking Sonny Gray to pitch well until I see him pitch like Sonny Gray.
That's more than fair. I just saw that as the grossest line on the board. And when I was going over my picks this morning, I was like, Krabs is going to be on that under. And you weren't. So I was like, oh.
I tried. I tried. Couldn't do it.
Well, all I know is you've been feeding us winter all year. Appreciate you. Plug anything you need before you go.
Yes, sir. Watch BTL every day, Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Book It Sports Twitch channel. And good luck tonight on your bets, chat. All right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Krabs. Talk soon. All right. A little bit of line movement. He's on the Rays. He's on that Arizona Diamondbacks Royals over. He had one more play in there. What was it, Producer Cohen? He had the the Red Sox Orioles 10-cent adjustment. Not ideal, but what are you gonna do? All right. Next play on the board. Ooh, we got Mr. Ben Carey. We're just talking crap about your model. Not really, because you're very good at it, but just a little back and forth because this is a competition, Ben. This is a competition.
It is. Actually, the model likes the under in that game, that Arizona game. So
model's aligning. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be quick here. I got 5, but let's run through them quickly. I know the queue's starting to fill up.
Let's do it.
Texas, Cincinnati. I'm on the first 5 under. I know you gave a pretty good pitch as to why that's a good play. Pretty much echoing what you said.
Absolutely.
I just went with first 5.
Yeah.
Even at 4, I still like it. I mean, the Reds have scored 5 in 6 games, I believe, or maybe it was 6 in 5 games. Eovaldi pitching well, as you mentioned, and I think Lodolo bounces back. I mean, the Rays right now are like the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, they're just running through everyone. So you got to take that start with a grain of salt. Give me the under in that first 5 there.
Any reason you didn't play the full game over? Just because I'm on the full game over, I was just curious why.
Yeah.
Like, you just...
I like both, but, I mean, it was splitting hairs, basically.
No, I was just curious if you had a different edge that I didn't think of, that you were like, oh, yeah, I don't love the over, but I like the first 5. You just took the first 5, but you would also play the full game.
Yep, absolutely.
Sweet. All right, let's move on to your second play. What else we got?
Yeah, Royals first 5 money line. I'm kind of going against the rookie coming in here, or the young guy. I'm spacing his name again.
Tommy Henry.
Henry. Yep, that's right. Nick made a good point. Pitchers' stats coming out of AAA, they're not going to look pretty, right? Because a lot of those parks play to runs, but he definitely has been struggling. I know you guys on your team follow minors pretty closely, but doing some research. What I gathered is they were surprised that he got called up versus the other guy.
Shocked over Brandon Pfaadt, but Pfaadt hasn't looked as sharp. But just to your point, the Diamondbacks play in their AAA. It's in Reno. It's like around that area. Every single park plays like Coors Field.
Yeah.
So the guys on offense, insane stats. Pitchers, like Brandon Pfaadt leading the minor leagues in strikeouts, was like why he became a top prospect, even though he had an ERA over 4. Because it's like pitching on the moon in every single start. So it's hard to look really closely. But what I do know is that, like, in my opinion, Tommy Henry is not really an upgrade over Madison Bumgarner. And, like, that sounds crazy. I don't.
Yeah,
think
at
he's
this
a
point in
major league
time,
pitcher.
absolutely. Like, net, it's probably just very similar. So I'm going to try to get the plus money here at plus 105, hoping Keller can do his thing. Royals hit a little better against lefties and righties. It's not saying a lot because they're struggling, but give me the plus money there, first 5.
I think it's smart. I think this is a good play because I like Keller. Like, I think the reason that this under is, a decent play based on your model and mine is that Keller made improvements. Like, he looks better than he did last year, objectively. Like, could that blow up in our faces? Absolutely, because it's not that good. But when you make tangible changes to your pitch mix and the pitch mix itself looks better, what are we supposed to do? Just say you still suck? Like, he's objectively not sucking.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You're either getting better or worse, right?
and he's getting better. And
He's
he's
getting
still
better.
young. We'll see how much that lasts, but he does look better right now. But you got more plays. Let's get to number 3.
Yeah, Cardinals, money line, pretty simple here, minus 125. I'm going with them. Giants against lefties. I know they had a decent offensive performance against Peterson, but I wouldn't put them up in like the upper echelon of like lefties. Lucchesi, he handled business against them. He was a lefty just a few games before that. So I think the Cardinals on the road can get the job done here.
I'm worried about this play. I'm going to be honest with you, Ben. Your other two
That's
I love.
okay.
This one, because you have a 5-cent adjustment down, and it's like,
Yeah,
but
it's
at the
weird.
same time, my baseball brain be like, how can it not be the Cardinals? Like, Giants cannot hit a lefty to save their lives. The Cardinals offense looked way better against the Mariners. And the Giants just won on Sunday Night Baseball, so you got all the people being like, oh, maybe Giants. Like, this.
Well, the
this
Cardinals
line makes
offensively-
no sense to me.
The Cardinals offensively, they're inconsistent, right? And we all know how good they are against lefties. So I think naturally people don't want to back them against a righty. I guess that could be the case here. So,
Okay, did you consider the under? Because if you think like Montgomery pitches well, I'm just curious. Not that anything is a bad play. I'm just talking.
Yeah, that definitely was a lean too. Those two were leans, and I think they're correlated.
For sure. But you got more plays. Let's talk about what, number 4, or is this number 5?
This is number 4.
Yep.
I'll be quick on this one.
No, you don't have to be. Let's break it down.
I mean, this one is pretty obvious. It's the Oakland A's. It's the Angels. The Angels are seeing the ball well. I was watching that Angels game live, back to back to back. That was fun to watch. I mean, that's what I think baseball fans like want to see out of the Angels, right? Like that's exciting. Ohtani, Trout, Ward. I think they're gonna hit. What's his face? Something Chuck. I'm spacing his name.
Waldichuk?
Waldenchuk, yeah.
Yes,
I think he's going to.
not very good.
He's going to get hit up, and then I think Suarez also could give up a few. It's a decent matchup for the A's, decent in quotations for them as a team. So I just think overall we're going to see a lot of runs. I think this move to 10, it might even be 10.5. If it's at 10.5, I would stay off of it. 10 is still a viable play here.
It's at 10 at minus 110. And just another thing to help your case, A's bullpen is historically bad. Like, they were fun. Excuse me. They were fine there for a little bit. The past 2 weeks, they have a 9 bullpen ERA. I mean, that's terrible. These aren't major leaguers right now. I mean, it's just
tough scene there in Oakland, soon to be Vegas, I guess.
Yeah, but it's so funny. It's like all the news coming out. It's like 2027.
I know. That's so long.
4 years away. We'll see though. I feel bad for A's fans, but you got
the Gen's gonna have a yacht by 2027. So
I'm hoping, and maybe I can come on. Fifth play.
Last play here. Hopefully you like this one. Rockies, Guardians under 8.5. It's 8, I believe now. I still like it. I mean the Rockies on the road, but the Rockies bottom half of the lineup. I mean, it's got to be one of the worst in baseball. Terrible. They just brought up Brenton Doyle, which I'm kind of surprised they went with him. I don't know what the Rockies are doing in their farm system right now. I don't think anyone knows what the Rockies are doing in their farm system. I mean, he's decent, but I don't expect him to do much. Trejo, Tavar, these guys are not seeing the ball well. If Cron isn't hitting home runs, this team is literally they're closer to the A's than they are the Nationals. I mean that, and I'm wearing a Rockies hat. Yeah. We're a bad team, so don't see a lot of runs in this one.
And Chris Bryant, what happened to him?
He's back.
I think because I know he
is
exited
back.
the game. I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah, all Rockies fans, including myself, are like, here we go again. But
Yep.
no, apparently he's back.
Let's go.
That doesn't help this or under, but I mean, overall, again, bottom half is just so bad.
You
of that
do
lineup.
have Gomber, which is nerve-wracking.
Could be scary. Could be scary. I mean, he did get shelled last start, but I think overall, maybe 3-4 earned.
Maybe
I'll take that.
Maybe a 5-1 Guardians win.
Yeah. Also, the Rockies bullpen surprisingly has been pitching well.
Agreed. Not bad. Justin Lawrence feels like the next Adam Ottavino, like the guy
Yeah,
who
and then he'll go to the Yankees.
Yeah,
maybe this year.
I love it. I write an article like 5 relievers nobody's talking about the trade deadline. I do it every year. Scott Efros was my number 1 guy year before. Then he went to the Yankees, shoved, then Tommy John surgery. Yeah, thanks a lot. But Justin Lawrence is going to be up there because he is nasty. Nobody's ever heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those Rockies where the slider doesn't move that much in Coors Field. Then he goes down the road and nobody can hit him. And he just needs to get out of there because when you're so sweeper slider dominant, you can't, you're never going to succeed as much as you could outside of Coors Field. So those are your 5 plays.
Yeah, and have a good Friday. Turn in the corner. Call me the Nationals. What year is that? 2017?
Absolutely.
2018?
I think it was
turn it around.
One of those years. Strasburg,
Yeah.
Harper.
Krabs would tell us. Yeah.
Scherzer. Yeah, remember when all those guys were on the Nats? Yeah, all right. Ben, plug anything you need before you go.
Yeah, just follow us on Twitch. Basically, you have your stack. It's like you start with Degen, then you can hop over to us. Then you have BTL, watch the surgical stream, and then hop on to Just Baseball. Seems like a good TV program experience to me.
Not too bad. Just talking ball all day.
Exactly.
It's the best.
All day, baby.
Appreciate
cool.
you, Ben.
Thanks again, man.
Talk to you soon. Ben did very well on Friday. I was kind of chirping him for his unit structure. Kind of weirded me out. And he hit him. Who am I to say that he ain't going to hit all 5 of these today? Remember, buy stock in Ben Carey. Really smart guy, knows his stuff. Start buying stock. All right, who we got up next? Oh, Mr. Duchenne. And he looks good. Look at you. You look like you're getting ready to do your taxes.
I always start muted. What's that?
You look like you're getting ready to do your taxes a little bit. You got your hair done.
Already did them. I fucking paid them. Don't remind me, please.
I know.
I got to go to dinner with the in-laws tonight. It's right after this. So, 3 plays today. I think that's the most I've ever come on here with.
Wow.
So, what do we start with? I always forget what I tell.
Actually, wait. Producer Cohen, can you show where Degen is on the leaderboard because he doesn't lose on stream?
Oh, I think I'm doing pretty well. What am I, 8-2?
What are you?
Plays 5.72 units.
You are up 5.27 units. I think I see you there in 5th place, but it's like between 1 to 7. It's a good day versus a bad day.
It's tight. It's real tight up there.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start. Not really. I honestly, I didn't have a great week last week, and solid start to the season, but a little regression. So I'm going to start it with 3 plays. I'm not going to increase my units just yet, but we'll probably get there because I've seen some people do that, and I like that idea.
Yeah.
But let's get started with your boy Cal. Not necessarily backing the Guardians, but I am going to take the first 5 under.
Okay.
I watched. So I've started watching this guy a little bit more ever since you've brought him to my attention. And again, I think I told you, I can't get over the fact that he looks like Jason Segel. Big old goofball, which I'm okay with because I'm a goofy guy too. But I think the last time he played, I bet his first 5 minus a half a run, and it was 0-0. I want to say it was against the Tigers recently.
Wind blowing in.
Yep, wind blowing in. Yeah, so I took them minus a half, and then in the 6th inning, fucking Jose Ramirez hit a nuke. So I lost that. However, the whole point of this this story is that I thought Cal looked really good. After we were kind of chirping you and him, because you guys kind of go hand in hand, that maybe he wasn't off to the best start this season. And I remember I also faded him against the Mariners when he gave up 3 runs in the 1st inning, but he allowed nothing after that. So, long story short, I think Cal is actually getting a little dialed in. I'd like to back him. But again, the only reason I have is I'm just a little concerned with fading the Rockies. It just seems like such an obvious thing to do, and that's where just the contrarian in me won't let me do it.
Yep.
On top of being burned recently with the first 5 in Cal, where he didn't get any run support. So I don't know anything about this Austin Gomber guy, so I hope I don't get killed with the Guardians going up. Well, yeah, issue. So I'm probably making the wrong decision here. However, I like looking at the game total. So the game total is 8.5 down to 8. I think this is kind of interesting. It seems like everybody's betting the over, probably expecting the Guardians to get some runs. So I like that, and also it's just one thing I've been in a groove on are these first 5 unders. So this is my choice of the day: the Rockies Guardians first 5 under. I believe 4.5 minus 125. And I know nobody likes laying juice. However, I will say, and I'm going to continue to repeat it, and I track all my plays on Action Network. First 5 unders in a row. Every single one of them that I've been hitting are minus 120 or minus 125. They are juiced for a reason, in my opinion. That's how I see it. So, yep, that's what I'm going to go with. That's my first play.
Follow-up question for you. On
Sure.
BetMGM right now, down to 4, plus 100. Worth it?
Yeah, I hate that.
I know. And, you're tracked here. Just curious for anyone listening who really liked the pitch and is like, I really want to play this. Shit, it's at 4. What do I do? You tell them what to do.
I mean, at the end of the day, look, I need 4 runs to win.
Yes.
So if you're going to go for 4 runs and you push, I can't say that would be foolish of me to say no. However, then you need 3 runs to win. So it's like, I don't feel as good about it. But yeah, personally, I'd probably still play it. Or after what you just said, Gomber sucks, maybe you're better off going with the Guardians first 5.
Here's my thing, though. People hate pushes, It's like, I hate push. I'd rather loot. I love pushing. Can you imagine
I don't hate it.
Can you imagine making a bet on a game and not losing it? I love pushing. Pushing's the best. It's not as good as winning, but it's way better than losing. I hear this all the time, people joking about pushing. And it's like, pushing is, for wusses. I'll take a push every day. If I get to watch a baseball game and put money on it and I don't lose, I'm taking that every day of the week. Considering you're a plus 102, I'd play it.
I hate blackjack, but one of the best times I've ever had was playing blackjack for about 3 hours once by myself in Vegas, $25 hands, and I lost $0 and I won $0. So that was a push, and that's exactly kind of what it's like on a sports bet. It's 3 hours of entertainment for free. So yes, that's play it at 4. Why
Play it
not?
at 4.
But if
Play it at 3.5. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play it at 3.5. But if it lands on 4 and I win and you push, then you can blame Peter.
You can blame me.
All right, next play.
Yep.
Let's see. What is? Oh, I'm going to Lodolo. Nick Lodolo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you asked me what I said.
No.
I don't know where you stand on this game, but I think we're on the right side. Are you on the Reds?
I am on the under through the full game because I think both pitchers pitched really well today.
I like that. I talked about this a little bit earlier today on my stream and whatnot, but I like to try to buy teams low and sell teams high. There's always an opportunity to do this. I'm not really forcing it, but I think this is a pretty good spot to fade the Rangers. 14-7 on the year. Now, I was a year early with this team. I took their season win total over last year. It didn't come close. They finally, it looks like the guys they made, the acquisitions they made and the guys they made moves for are starting to step up. Their bats are really good. DeGrom, obviously, after the first start, has looked solid. I don't know a lot about Nathan Eovaldi, but I don't really think necessarily that matters so much because their offense has been so good. Now, they haven't played the best of teams. And I think they also got a little spoiled playing the Phillies in the beginning of the year because I think the Phillies have gotten a little bit better since then. Could be wrong. But I think this is a tough spot for the Rangers. I think this is going to be a pretty good test. The Reds team, too, was also kind of like the public darling for a sleeper team in the offseason between the Reds and the Cubs. I chose the Cubs. However, I'm not necessarily convinced that the Reds are a bad team, even though they're 2-8 in their last 10. I think they're going to get right a little bit, and I think this is a bad spot for the Rangers. I also really like what the line is doing or not doing. Seems like it's kind of holding firm at a pick'em here at minus 110. And just on paper, a 14-7 team who's 7-3 in their last 10 and good on the road, 6-3 on the road, against a 7-15 team that's 2-8 in their last 10 at a pick'em price is going to be a very obvious public play towards the Rangers.
So especially after putting up 18 runs in their last game.
Yep. Yep. Correct. Against the A's, right? That's always the asterisk, but still, it's 18 runs.
18 runs. You see a box score and you're like, 18 runs,
It's
they're
insane.
amazing.
Yep, it's insane. So I understand that Nick Lodolo is a very popular or trendy pitcher. However, I do wonder if my brain or our brains are warped because of the Book It stream and Trent being a TCU guy and he's a TCU guy.
Mhm.
But I think he's a pretty solid pitcher, and I don't think I don't know what his last outing was, but I don't necessarily think like he's somebody that is going to get betters to just take him at a pick 'em price, no matter who his opponent is. I think the Rangers are pretty respected. I think Evaldi is a decent name. So I really like this line. The fact that the total's gone from 9 to 8 makes me agree with you. I think that there's going to be good pitching. And so that makes me lean into the Reds. So I'm on the Reds first 5. Let's see. I think it's -110 on the money line.
I think it is too. Let me just check while you go over your third play, and then I'll give you a check there quickly on. Yeah. So right now, sorry to interrupt. I know I just said. Yep.
No, you're
-110
good.
still. -110 still. So you're holding firm, which is good because
Okay.
people are definitely on the Rangers.
People are definitely on the Rangers, yeah. And I mean, I think for the most part, you'll find that there's an element of contrarian to my bets. However, it's not going to be as forced because I learned a lot last season. But as I like to say, the time to strike is typically early in the year, in April and May. Then it gets a little bit more chalkier, and then you just have to kind of lean into those favorites: Braves run lines, Dodgers run lines, whatever. But until then, we're going to talk about teams like the Reds, and I'm going to talk to you about the Detroit Tigers and their team total.
Why
Because
not?
I'm taking the over 3.5 today. It makes absolutely no sense in my opinion. And I know the first thing somebody's probably going to put their hands on the keyboard and start typing and telling me is, oh, it's Chris Bassett. I don't give a shit that it's. Oh no. I'm sorry. It's not Chris Bassett. I'm also on the White Sox. Sorry about that. I got the wrong game up. Okay, so it's a bullpen day for the Brewers. So maybe you could tell me that it's a bullpen day for the Brewers. I don't know anything about Colin Ray. But that's why I tune in to listen to someone like you talk, because maybe you could tell me a little bit about Colin Ray, or maybe it doesn't matter because maybe he's only going 2-3 innings.
He's okay, right? Like he's this fill-in swingman type pitcher. Had a good start against the Mariners. He's nobody you need to worry about. Is basically what I mean. Like, but the thing is, the Tigers are so dog shit against righties. Like they're bad against everybody. They're terrible against righties. But you have really good hitting conditions on your side. American Family Field, one of the best stadiums to hit at. Tigers have been playing all these cold, gross weather conditions. Now they go to Milwaukee. It's still going to be rather cold, but that stadium plays the offense. I think the Tigers have an outside shot of winning this game, but
Me too.
I don't know. And I think the team total is a sneaky good move.
Yeah, so I think one of the plays I gave on here last week was the Padres team total at 5.5.
Cashed.
What's that?
Cashed.
It did. They had 7. And I just want to always remind people when I bring up previous plays, it is not to gloat or tout or anything like that. But I like to use what I call situational gambling. And it's where have you seen this before?
Yep.
Did it work? And I want to apply the same logic again if it's successful. So the Padres team total was an absurd number at 5.5. And they only gone over that number once in 10 games. And they scored 2 runs in the last 4. Well, look at the Tigers offense. So they've lost 4 straight, but not only that, they've only scored 1, 1, 1, 2, 1 in their last 5. So they haven't even gone over 2 runs in their last 5 games. 3 consecutive games of only getting 1 run. So now the team total is set at 3.5 and the over is juiced. See, I think that's interesting. The over is juiced. That's what the books are going to make you pay more for. To take the Tigers to score 4 runs when they haven't scored more than 2 in the last 5 games. I find that to be a bit suspicious. Also kind of leaning into what I was saying before with the Texas Rangers, another team that I think is kind of starting out a little bit too hot and due for some losses and maybe a little bit of regression. I'm not saying they're going to crash. But it's the Milwaukee Brewers, 15-7, 7-3 in their last 10. The Red Sox kind of smacked them in the face a little bit. So yeah, I agree with you. I thought about taking the Tigers plus 1.5, maybe even taking a shot on the run line. On the money line. But I'm just going to go with the team total over 3.5.
Yeah, because you're not risking, like, let's say Matt Boyd and the Tigers give up 1 billion runs and then Tigers just spill over that. I don't think it's a bad play at all. I would, if you put a gun in my head, I would take Tigers money line in this matchup. So considering that, I have to be on a similar side to you on this team total. Because Colin Ray, like, he's all right. Like, he's nothing that you should be worried about.
This guy, Handyman Al, who he's in my streams, he said FanDuel has 4. And I got to tell you, I am usually not the CLV guy. I am not someone who gets the best number. I don't typically put my plays in early. I actually pay more juice. I look at it as paying a premium.
Yeah.
I think Ben Carey thinks this way too. Because I like to make sure the market's not going to move against me.
I'm the opposite.
To move with me. Exactly. Oh, you're the opposite.
I always am morning. I'm always early morning, like 7, 8 in the morning, get my plays in because I make my living on CLV in that sense. Like, I'm always trying to beat the lines, and sometimes I get the wrong side, but more often than not, I'm on the right side, and which helps me too. Is like, if I see a number that I like, I jump, and I don't really. And like, for example, I'm on the Astros today. I'm on the Reds versus Rangers under. I got it 8.5 at -105. Now it's at 8, right? Astros +125. Now it's at fucking +150 because Jordan's out of the lineup. Sometimes you miss it, but like more often than not, I believe I will get the right number.
Yeah, well, and just so you know, and whoever's listening knows, that's what you should do. What you should do is what professionals do is try to get the best number. Long term, that's going to help your profit. But especially in a sport like baseball, you know, if it's like football or basketball where points determine whether you're going to win or lose, that's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
I'll put bets in early in the week too if I really like the spot. But you know the sport inside and out. You trust your handicapping abilities, and you are in this sense more of like a professional bettor where you look at the matchups and you look at the teams and you find the value in the mismatches.
Yeah.
I don't know shit. So
yes, you do. Stop. You're doing great this year.
No, I know some baseball, but I know the market. I read the market a lot more than I read the team. So that's why I sit and wait, and it kind of sucks. And if anything, I piggyback off of people like you. Now, I'm not saying you're, whatever your unit is, $50, $100, you're not moving the needle. But somebody who maybe thinks the same way you do, and they've got $5,000, $10,000 bets, they're going to move the market. And then I'm basically seeing what the Peters of the world like. And I'm glad, hey, they moved that team total from 3.5 to 4 on the Tigers. I'm happy to be on the right side of it. But, yep, that's all I got. Sorry, I feel like I was on here for longer than usual.
No worries, man. Really appreciate you coming on. Plug anything you need before you dip.
DGen Weekly on Twitter. That's pretty much all I got. Daily streams, 11 a.m. to 12:30. We go over the board every day.
Let's roll, my brother. Appreciate you coming on again, and we'll see you this week.
Yep, I'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Good luck. All right. Do we have anyone else in queue right now?
Tomas just got it.
Oh, Tomas Romo, the leader of the Not Gambling Advice baseball betting stream. Cohen, can you flash the leaderboard for our friends here listening in? Because you are going to want to stay tuned for Tomas Romo's picks. Considering he is number 1 right now, he's above Jake, he's above me, he's above Matt, Jen, Krabs, everybody. Number 1. Tomas, welcome. What's going on, my man?
I'm doing good, Peter. I'm doing good. I'm just going to throw this out here now. I don't want to be a little too confident, but I'm going to pull the trigger and say it. I'm going 3-0 today.
Wow.
I want everyone
3-0.
Yeah, I'm going 3-0 today. I woke up truthfully a little pissed off today because I've gotten, I think the past, 2-3 days, I'm going back to Friday. I'm going to go back to Friday.
Okay.
I hit my first 5. I got the Rangers team total over 4.5. I have the run line against the A's. They scored 4 runs in the first inning. They never scored again, and they lost. And after that, I said, well, I don't know if my weekend's going to turn out the way I wanted to. Super mid-weekend. Went like 2-3 on Saturday, 1-1 yesterday. And I was like, you know what? We're winning today. I've had enough of the middays.
I love
We're
it.
going through.
Oh, mid-major, would you mind muting back there? I think there's a little bit of feedback. You're fine, Tomas. I think there's a little, but we're good. Keep hitting it, Tomas.
Yeah, I'm going 3-0 today. So I want everyone to know that before I get into my plays. We're going 3-0. We're having a winning day. It's a winning day guarantee. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, baby. Let's go. Pick number 1. What you like? What's your favorite? Because if you're going 3-0,
All
You gotta
right.
love these plays.
I do love these plays. And the first one that caught my eye is this Rangers-Reds game. I know you're on the under, Peter. I know you're on the under. I'm going to go with the Rangers. I'm going with the Rangers in this one. It's a system play. I've come on here, the past week and a half, 2 weeks, saying non-divisional road favorites, they're hitting it over 70%. Interleague favorites as well, hitting over 62%.
Yes, sir.
And we've got both of those systems here. If Nick Lodolo was not pitching for the Reds, and it was anybody else, if it was Hunter Green, Ashcraft, Luis Sessa, whatever, this is a 2-unit, maybe a max play. I'm not even kidding you. But I respect Lodolo enough. I've come on here and I've bet on him. I think he's one of the best young pitchers in the game. But I like the spot for the Rangers. Also, too, Nathan Eovaldi has pitched a lot better than his 5.4 ERA.
Totally agree.
3.81 expected ERA. And I think this is a good matchup for him, considering the Reds have scored 6 runs in their last 5 games. Also, tip your cap to the Pittsburgh Pirates for a second for doing what they did against Cincinnati this past weekend. Listen, I like Lodolo, like I said, but Rangers 10-3 in their last 13 games. They're averaging 7.7 runs per game over that stretch. Rangers played pretty good on the road too, 6-3. It's a system play. Not going to overthink it. Let's go Rangers.
Are you worried that the Rangers rank 20th in WRC plus against lefties and the line is a little sketchy?
I definitely that's a whole nother point of what I was saying too. If Lodolo was not pitching, like I said, it'd be a 2-unit, maybe a 3-unit play. But it is the system play. I've continued to ride with it. I will continue to do it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I also think too, going into this matchup, Lodolo, we've seen in all of his starts, he throws a lot of pitches. He throws a lot of pitches. He's a strikeout guy. I really do like the first 5 under in this game. I almost played it myself. But I know if this game is close and we get to the 6th, 7th inning, I'm going to trust the Rangers bullpen and the Rangers bats against that Cincinnati bullpen. That's why I'm not playing the first 5. That's why I'm going with the full game. And I feel more comfortable because I don't see Lodolo pitching 7, 8 innings because, by the time he gets to the 5th inning, he's at least at 90 pitches.
Yeah, I could see it. I do think he pitches really well today. At the same time, though, I think Eovaldi pitches better. And the Reds against righties, like at some point, they're almost an auto fade at this point. They just can't hit a righty. And Eovaldi's due for some positive regression. It's interesting, though. DeGen is on the Reds through the first 5, and you're on the Rangers through the full game. Because I think we all agree Lodolo pitches well, but the Rangers have the advantage once he gets removed. So I like it that he's on first 5, you're on full game. You could both hit. And I could hit my under, and we all go home happy.
We can all win today, Peter. We can all win.
Why not us?
Exactly. Why not us?
Why not us? Let's get to your second play.
Next up, looking at the White Sox-Blue Jays game. First off, what happened to Lance Lynn? I mean, my gosh. 2 years ago, he was a Cy Young finalist, and now he's 0-2 with a 7.59 ERA. His expected ERA is still above 6, which is unbelievable. His velocity is down, and he just doesn't look like the same pitcher. Also, the White Sox are really bad. I mean, 4th place in the AL Central right now. I know it's early, but my goodness. Also, too, I like the Blue Jays in the spot. I'm not playing them on the money line because I'm not going to pay the 165 juice. But I am going to play their team total over 4.5 for 1 unit. Listen, the White Sox pitching staff is bad. I talked about Lance Lynn, but they got a 5.43 ERA, and opponents are batting .262 against them. Blue Jays have only played 6 games at home. They're 4-2, while the White Sox are 4-9 on the road. Toronto has averaged 4.7 runs at home, which I'm going to take. I'm saying, hey, you got the worst pitcher. You're not playing against a good bullpen. I see him getting 5 tonight. Also, too, George Springer, Vladimir Guerrero, and Bo Bichette are all batting over 250 against him, and they all combine for a .714 OPS. There's a lot of familiarity in this Blue Jays lineup with Lance Lynn. I don't see him going past 5 innings. Give me the team total over 4.5. I love it.
Why not us?
Exactly.
Third play. I want to hear them all.
Third play. We're not fading the Oakland A's, but we're looking at this game. A's versus Angels, game of the night for me here, and we're gonna take the over 9.5. It's at 10 now. I locked it in at 9.5. That makes me feel even better about it.
Would you take 10? Just curious. Like for anyone listening, what they want to tell you.
I will still take 10 because, I mean, I'm sitting here with 9.5. I need 10. I don't see this game being, like I honestly think the Athletics might win this one, truthfully. Jose Suarez is that bad. He really is. And also, too, this is the way that I see it. when I look at these two pitchers, they are both really bad. Waldichuk and Jose Suarez, they rank in the bottom percentile in expected batting average, K percentage, whiff percentage, and expected ERA.
So bad.
They're so bad. They're so bad. Runs are going to be scored. Also, too, the Angels overs continue to hit all the time. This is also one of those games where it might be a meme game, and we see Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani combined for 3 home runs and 6 RBIs, and they lose 10-6 to the Oakland A's. I'm just saying, I could see that happening. I'm not saying Waldichuk's going to go throw out a gem, but I'm not going to be surprised if this over hits within the first 5 to 6 innings, just because how bad the starters are, and neither one of these bullpens are good either. Give me the over 9.5, 3-0 day. Why not us?
Why not us? What am I going to do? Dacha, you're up 8 units on stream. You're up 1 billion units outside of stream. You've been killing it, my man. Plug anything you need before you go.
Follow me on Twitter, T_Romo5 for all my Just Baseball content as well. I cover the Houston Astros for Just Baseball. Follow me on TikTok as well at Tomas.Romo1. But yeah, let's have ourselves a day, Peter, and let's see what happens.
Wishing you the best, my friend. Rangers, the over in Angels versus A's, and the Blue Jays team total over 4.5. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you coming on. We'll probably see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, Bo. All right. Do we have anyone else in queue? We got who? Mid-Major Matt? Oh, he's ready to give us some plays. Mid-Major, handsome, how you doing, my friend? Good to
How we
see
doing,
you.
Just Baseball?
Back in the car. How are you?
Always. One of many cars. I'm hoping to buy a lot more as well, depending on how the plays turn out.
Well, Producer Cohen, can you flash the leaderboard? Because you've made enough units, depending on the unit size, to possibly buy you a car. You are what? What is he, 4th?
4th.
Yeah, you're 4th. You're about a half unit behind me. No big deal.
And you do this for a living. I just do this for fun. Imagine only being half a unit ahead of me, this guy.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So be careful how you talk to me, Peter.
That's a good point. You got me. You got me, all right?
Before we go into it, I do want to say I watched some of the VODs back, of course, to give Just Baseball their rightly credits.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned in the Community Goat Whale
Okay.
that Phil Utley gave you Paul Goldschmidt under home runs.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one person in your life stupid enough to give you Paul Goldschmidt under home runs, and it's not Phil Utley. It's the guy currently in 4th place on the Just Baseball stream.
So I screwed up.
Absolutely. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. But I want all credit when
You get all credit.
Thank you.
You get all
Thank
credit.
you.
That is my bad. You're
That's
sharp.
okay.
That's why you're on the show, because I know you know ball. And don't give me that, oh, I just do this for fun. You can't tell me that when you have a – excuse me?
So you're getting rated by someone.
Who am I getting rated by? Forensic?
53 people.
Hey,
W. Ray.
welcome. W. Raid, thank you for joining. Thank you
Absolutely.
for joining. Mid-Major Matt, give your plays to the new people coming in stream.
Yeah, so what's the first one you guys have me listed down for?
Sorry, producer. Boston, first 5. Talk to us. Chris Sale, why not him?
So it's more so if you look at the Fangraphs page, which everyone does now, the Orioles are fantastic at hitting lefties. A lot of that happens to be from the Chris Sale start back in early April or later March. But do you remember what happened yesterday with the Orioles when they faced Eduardo Rodriguez?
They got destroyed.
They got perfect games through 7 full innings.
Yep. Was it perfect?
Eduardo
It was close.
through 7.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
Tilana hit, I think, in the bottom of the 8th, I believe.
Absolutely.
They did not look good. They looked awful at the plate. His off speed was actually it did not turn out well for them.
Mm-mm.
So I think with Chris Sale being able to find the strike zone his last start, that he does the exact same thing to them. Do I think he goes perfect through 7? Absolutely not. But with Kramer, I am gonna fade him continuously. I faded him last year and he really hurt me, but I think as that regression comes, I think it's this year as opposed to the end of last year. He pitched extremely well.
One thing to help your case real quick. Kramer,
Mhm.
3.24 ERA last year, 4.98 expected. He was one of those pitchers who vastly overperformed his peripherals and is now due for some regression. While Sale
Exactly.
has been a guy who I keep saying he's not washed. Look at the stuff. He's still getting plenty of whiffs on the slider. He ran into some tough matchups against the Orioles in particular. Krabs likes the under. You like the Red Sox first 5. Basically, this stream is backing Chris Sale.
Exactly. I was looking at the under. I went with the Bo Sox because their offense, they've just been scoring runs, man. And Kramer, who I do not like at all. I think we all actually backed him his last start against the Nationals. Nationals are by far the worst team in the league at hitting righties. Boston is the exact opposite. So I don't expect to what he did last start to carry over to this start to the Boston Red Sox, who put up 12 runs against Corbin Burns and the Brewers yesterday.
Absolutely. I think this is a pretty smart play. I think Chris Sale is still here. I think he's still that dude. He's still that psycho who's still throwing, in the mid-90s with that incredible slider. And you're going up against Dean Kramer, who the Red Sox historically own. So I think it's a good play. The line was a little bit weird for me. That's kind of why I stayed off this game, because Red Sox-Orioles games almost never go the way a capper thinks. Like, sometimes there's a billion runs, sometimes there's one, and it's just like, it's always toss-up games, especially in these rival division games. So that's why, I don't normally like to play Red Sox versus Orioles at all. But if you put a gun in my head and said, which way would you lean? I would lean the way you're going. And I think the Red Sox through the first 5 is a good play.
And obviously it's a money line, so there's push potential.
Yep.
I don't think it pushes. I think it wins. But I like the value it's giving me. I think I got it at 130 on BetMGM.
Absolutely. And right now, just to check the lines for anyone who wants to tail this with you, on BetMGM, we are looking through the Red Sox first 5. It's still minus 130. Perfect.
There you go.
There you go. Next play.
It's winning. It's winning.
It's winning. Next play.
Simple.
Detroit.
Yeah. So I can't say anything that DGen put exquisitely. It's more of a line play. I think that Colin Ray, he has good stuff. I don't think he's a starting pitcher. I think he's going to be eventually delegated to the bullpen.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to go 5 strong innings, especially against and as he put it, this Tigers lineup hasn't scored more than 2 runs in 5 games. All of a sudden, the team totals at 3.5 juice to the over. It's because Colin Ray is going to give up a fuck ton in the first 5. I think he doesn't see past 5 innings, and I think that Matthew Boyd pitches well enough to, his expected stats are not as bad as his fat ERA is. So I think that the Brewers team as a whole starts to regress. I do not like their bullpen. I know they start off as one of the best bullpens in the league. I am not a fan of anyone in their bullpen outside of Devin Williams, obviously. Strzelecki, Bush, Milner, they've been journeymen. I don't think they are what they've been showing. So I think that they get Colin Ray out early, and I like runs by the Tigers, and I like Matthew Boyd to pitch well enough to get me plus money on the first 5.
And it's down to plus 120.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Thank you. The total is now at 9 on most books, and the money line has dropped in favor of the Tigers. So with that correlation of the move, it's telling me that Tigers are going to score runs.
I like it, my man. I think you guys are both on the right side here, especially because Brewers can't hit lefties. And but my thing is Matt Boyd is just, it's not very good. But I mean, they can't hit lefties. So what are you going to say?
It's one of those things they can't hit lefties. Sorry.
No, continue. I was just going to say it's in Milwaukee, maybe a little home field advantage. That's why the line, you see it the way it is. And the Brewers are way better than the Tigers, right? Well, why is the line
way better than the Tigers?
I think you're on the right side. I think it's a good bet.
Yeah. They're way better than the Tigers, exactly. But are they way better than the Tigers with minus 150 Colin Ray on the mound? The Tigers, as bad as they are, as bad as Matthew Boyd is, somehow, some way, he got signed by a major league team. He's going to pay them a couple $1 million because he's pretty fucking good at baseball and throwing a ball. So if this is one of the games where he shows his potential against a Brewers team that also just major leaguers who are underperforming, by all means, I want the plus money, and I think it's the right side.
Let's roll. Atta baby. And you even have push potential, too, because it's on the money line, and it's plus. Give it to me. But you got another play.
It's going to win, so I do. I have 2 plays the exact same game.
Let's talk about it.
So last week I was kicked in the mud. I was pooped on. I was pissed on. I was all the bad things for taking Chris Bassett against the Houston Astros. And how did that turn out?
Can you leave me alone, please, and stop bringing up that same bet? It's next week. We're past it. You already got me on the other one where it's like, oh, yeah, you're up a half unit. You do this for a living, and I'm just here having fun. You won already, right?
I referenced that because today, Chris Bassett is going to win me money by shitting the bed. He is going to pitch awfully today, in my opinion.
Okay.
He is coming off of 3 starts where he has a 2.58 ERA in his last 18 innings. He's facing Lance Lynn, who has a 8.89 ERA in the last 18 innings, that same amount of time. So it's for a guy that lets up as much hard contact and as high as his barrel percentage is against this White Sox lineup, who just loves hitting the piss out of the ball. They don't always do something with it, but they love to hit the piss out of the ball. You can agree with that.
Absolutely.
I think that he gets absolutely shelled today. A couple interesting line points
This
is
a
if you look on
unit play. You have 3 units.
so 2 and 1. I got 2 on the plus half, which I think is about even money or pick 'em, and then 1 on the money line. I would go first 5 team total, but the best sportsbook in the world doesn't have first 5 team totals as of right now. But I love the fact that the Jays, again, the total is going up. It's at 9 with as well as Bassett is pitching, with the money line coming down again in favor of the White Sox. He opened up about 170. He's about 155, 152 on some books. It's telling me he gets shelled. And on the wonderful app that is Prize Picks, go ahead and open it up for me if you don't have it already. We're going to go to pitcher fantasy score.
Prize Picks.
Mm-hmm.
Prize Picks, pitcher fantasy score.
So I'm going to tell you this, which you already know.
I don't see pitcher fantasy score on my thing. Wait, let me exit it out. Hold on, keep talking.
Sure. Maybe it's an iPhone thing. Maybe get an Android and upgrade.
Oh, there it is. I just had to refresh. I'm here.
So, do you know the Blue Jays money line as of right now, Peter?
Yeah, it's minus 165.
What is Chris Bassett's fantasy score?
30.5.
So the White Sox are about 125, 130 for the game, I would assume, right? I mean, just by assumption.
They're plus 140.
Look at Lance Lynn's fantasy score.
31.5.
How the fuck, Peter, do you have a pitcher that's plus 140 that has a lower fantasy score who hasn't touched this number in the past 3 starts against Chris Bassett, who has soared over this number his past 3 starts? Explain that to me.
I can't.
I'll wait.
I can't.
Producer Cohen? You got...
Producer Cohen, can you explain it? Can't explain it.
Look at it. Look at Chris Bassett's his last 2 or 3 starts on Prize Picks.
Chris Bassett's?
Yeah.
Hold on. He's gone over it in 3 straight.
Interesting.
Lance Lynn did not go over it in his last start. Did go over it on April 11th and then got 4 against the Giants.
4.
That's not ideal.
Not ideal, sir. Not for a millionaire.
Spencer Strider's pitcher fantasy score is 49.5 today.
Oh, he's going to soar over that shit, too. You know that. Yeah, that's gross. But I am a huge fan of this play. I think that Bassett it's the perfect sell high for Bassett and the Blue Jays, who just came off of winning the series against their biggest rival at Yankee Stadium. They're coming home facing this shit pitcher, Lance Lynn. Chris Bassett's looked amazing in his last starts. Minus 150, sure. I'm going to pay that. I'm going to pay that money to back them. They're not winning today. He's pitching poorly. I'm going to tell you that now.
My only thing is I've banned 2 teams.
White Sox, yeah.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Too much variance. But when you see, you have been a master this season at reading the lines, but then using, past data in order to predict future success. That's where you have been absolutely nails. And this is the perfect one for you, right? That's why you have 2 units then 1 unit. You don't often see you do this kind of thing. And you're fading Chris Bassett, who I think is not very good. But Lynn hasn't been very good. But, let's see, right? It's an interesting play.
He's a big boy. He's had a lot of trouble adjusting to the pitch clock, obviously. So he's now, I think, 5 or 6 starts in. I don't think he pitches amazing, but I think he pitches a lot better than Chris Bassett today. And I don't like Bassett, man.
Did you consider the first 5 over at all? Because I know you do first 5s all the time. I was just curious.
Yeah, I did. But I think honestly, I think a lot of it comes from the White Sox. That's why I stuck with them. I think Lynn can easily give up 2 because it's probably at 5 or so with a total of 9. But I see the White Sox getting at least 3 off of Chris Bassett. I really do.
Okay.
So
let's have a day, baby. We got 3 picks, bunch of units, and you've been up. Who am I to doubt you, my man? Appreciate you coming on. Plug anything you need. Where should people follow your picks? Because I know you got probably way more than this.
I do. I only have 1 more, which I might talk to you about if you have some time. It's just Twitter at NotMinMajorMatt. I don't have anything else. I don't have a TikTok. I don't have a Facebook. I have a MySpace, though. If anyone wants to put me in the top 8 for MySpace, by all means, I would love that. But is there anybody else waiting?
No. So, yeah, let us know anything that you need, because I think you're the last contributor, right, Producer Code? Oh, California wager we haven't even heard from yet. So yeah.
Okay.
Let us know.
Okay. It's the Rangers and the Reds game. So you're on the full game under.
Yes.
I think Dejan's on the first 5 for the Reds, and then
Yes.
is it Tomas is on the full game for the Rangers?
Yes. And
I'm gonna add another play.
Ben Carey's on the first 5
sorry.
under.
First 5 under.
Yeah.
So all 4 plays I think can hit.
Mhm.
I think that 3 of them will hit, and I think it's the under and the first 5 under, which I am also on with Ben Carey.
Love it.
If we like Nick Lodolo, I just expect him to pitch really well today against the Rangers team. In the last 2 series, have performed extremely well against the Royals and the A's pitching staff. How much are people going to put stock into that, guys? I mean, come on. They got 3 runs or 4 runs off of Kyle Muller. Kyle Muller walked 5 people in 5 innings. They didn't look extremely great against that guy, and his stuff, as baseball puts it, his stuff is bounds below what Nick Lodolo can do. And as you can see from this line, it's Lodolo's going to pitch well. And as we know, the Reds have looked pretty piss poor against right-handed pitchers. And Eovaldi is not a piss poor pitcher, so I don't expect much to happen in the first 5 innings. I think it just soars in about 30 to 45 minutes, 1 to 2 runs max. It's the first 5 under for me.
So I asked Ben this as well because the line did move. It's at 4 now. I assume like you'd still take that at 4?
I'd take 3.5. I would, because it's probably plus 130, plus 125. If I imagine, because I know you guys talked about pushing. I'm not a midwife. I don't need to push anything. I am going to win or lose. That's it.
See, that's why I don't understand. A lot of people share your opinion. I'm like, dude, I'll take a push. I mean, obviously I want to win, but I'd wait. Like people are like, oh, I'd rather lose than push. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you rather lose money than not make or just stay even and you got some entertainment for a couple hours?
Right, but let's say, I guess to argue, to retort you, if you're just a 1-unit guy, which I know you are because you're very good at what you do and you're very patient and consistent, if you make 300, 400 something plays and they're all minus 110 or more, or you're pushing all the plays where you think you got right, but you're hitting the plays, if you need a 4 to push, but you're getting 3 or less runs or getting 5 or more runs if you're taking 4.5 as opposed to 4, if you're staying at 1 unit, over time, the long term, you're going to win a lot more money. I know you won't lose, the money, but you're going to win a lot more than you're going to push and just get it back. So that's the way I look at it. Obviously,
Depends.
I'm not as smart as you because I don't put just 1 unit on everything. I am just sporadic with what I do. So it doesn't really apply to me, but it's long term. I want the plus money.
I see what you mean. Because if you really have conviction about a play the plus
I don't think it's
money.
going to go under by 1 run.
Yeah, and it's like because like what are the odds it lands on 4? I mean, those odds aren't very good. Like if you were like, oh, I'm taking the first 5 to be exactly 4, that's going to be plus 1,000 or something like that. So I see what you're saying. I guess I'm more talking about the idea that I've like legit heard people say I'd rather lose than push, which I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's more what I'm talking about, not long term. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you I'd rather lose money than not get money back.
Yeah.
That is idiotic to say and ignorant to say. What I will say is I'd rather get that long-term plus money.
That's
than for that long-term return.
I see what you're saying. Appreciate you, my man. Again, at
thank you, guys.
Matt on Twitter. Gets full credit for Goldschmidt and definitely gets full credit for being 4th in the competition right now. Keep killing it, my man, and we'll see you later this week.
And full credit for backing Lance Lynn tonight. Don't forget that one.
Full credit. I could never back the White Sox with you, but I give you full luck. I'm wishing you all the best.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Talk to you soon. All right, is that Cali Wager? We haven't heard from him. Should we go through his plays? Yeah, let's go through California Wager's plays because he's got 2 of them. Peter, what about the first 3 innings under 2.5 in the Reds game? You're getting a little cute, but I don't hate it. Depending on what the line is. I definitely don't hate it. I just think that this game is going to be really low scoring throughout. So, but you're slimming the margins down a little bit. But this is Cali Wager's first play. He is on the Angels. minus 1.5 through the full game. What is that line that he's at? Plus 100 for the Angels at minus 1.5. Let's see what it's at now. It's at minus 115. So he's got line movement on his side. Obviously, people have came in and hammered the Angels because it's against the A's, and he is just fading the A's on the run line. Personally, I don't love taking home teams on the run line because, again, you don't get those 9 innings of hitting, but it is the A's. Peter, what, first 3 innings? Minus 136. Yeah, I mean, I think you're getting a little cute there.
The question is, there a place you can see all the picks from the Cappers without rewatching the stream? Isn't it? Aren't they all on?
Yeah, they're all on the Pickett Sports app. So if you download Pickett, it's in our link tree. And if you follow the Just Baseball page, there it is. There are all the picks tracked. But what I recommend is watching the stream from 4:30 p.m. Eastern to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We do this every Monday through Friday. We go through all the picks on the slate. But you can easily download Pickett. It's in our link tree, which you can find on our social media handles, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. You can find that, hit the download button. Yeah, they're all tracked on Pickett. Let's get to his next. He's got 2 more?
No, 2 units on the Cardinals.
2 units on the Cardinals. I'm a little bit scared about this one. I'm not going to lie to you. Ladies and gentlemen. I usually am. Don't worry, just wasn't home. Yeah, facts. No, I believe you. Yeah, if you download the Pickett Sports app, that's where all my bets are tracked too, so you can see all those. I don't love the Cardinals today, guys. And the model likes the Giants. The public has hammered the Cardinals, and yet it's moved from minus 125 to minus 120. Remember, my only goal here is for you to make money. That's it. That's why I come here every day, to give you my best shot. Now, I'm not on this game. I'm nervous about this one. Now, not to say that the Cardinals won't win. It makes sense from a baseball matchup, right? You got a lefty, Giants can't hit lefties. Cardinals are a better team. Their bats are heating up. And maybe it just hits. But I got a weird feeling about it. The pitches make me want to take most of these plays, but next thing you know, I got 10 units betting on 10 plays. Remember, we come on and we give you our best bet. So whatever pitch you hear that you like the best, roll with it, right? Remember, if you took every play that's been on stream, you'd be up. And I know you got to manage your bankroll, but California is down 5.5 units. Ben's down 3.91, but Ben's been heating up a little bit. And as you can see, there's much more people in green, and there's also those people in green are up much more than the bottom, right? So that'll do it for this episode of Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream on the Just Baseball Network. Remember to use code JBFans on BetMGM. Wager $10 on any money line in the MLB. Once it's settled, you get $100 in bonus bets. Depending on the state, you could get up to $200 in bonus bets. I don't have a Prize Picks entry today, but Prize Picks is a great tool. For example, what Mid-Major Matt was talking about with the White Sox, right? You see on Prize Picks, Lance Lynn's fantasy score is higher than Chris Bassett's. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Could be an edge for you. Use code JustBaseball when you download Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy app. They will match your deposit up to $100. It's a no-brainer. Always take free money from the books. If they are going to give you free money, it is in your best interest to take it. Now, don't take those boosts. Oh, this parlay, it's boosted. It's 50,000 people are on it. Should you tail? No, you should not. But when they're offering you promos, I wrote a big article 2 years ago. The rules of sports gambling. It's on justbaseball.com. It's basically my pamphlet. Everything I live by. One of the rules is take free money when the sports books give it to you. On BetMGM, you wager $10, you get $100. No brainer. On Prize Picks, whatever you deposit, they match. No brainer. I know we're sponsored by them, and you're like, oh, you're just being corp. Take the free money. Take it. All right? I love you guys. We'll be back 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern every single day, Monday through Friday. We go over all the games. Thank you to everyone who rated. We do this all the time. We're here to give you winners, but we have to remember, it's not gambling advice. Peace out, everybody.